Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last night of regular season coverage of BOL Blue Otter League Platinum Otter Talk. I'm your host, as always, Chong Somo, and tonight I got three guests joining me, but we'll get into that meeting them in a little bit. Tonight we're looking at a few specific matchups, getting ready to see what teams are going to be the last ones slotting into playoffs here as we get ready for that next week. But let's get to our guests. Let's get you guys to introduce yourselves. You guys can go in any order you want. Let's get going.
Okay, I'm JJ. I'm the org owner for Hydro Pump Chumps. I'm the top laner. I play for Great White, and I'm an alcoholic.
All right. Who we got next?
I am Billy Badass. I play for Atomic Desperadoes, and I'm the mid laner, and I also play ADC and support.
And I'm Tortuga. I play for Obsidian Vice, and I play the AD carry position, falling, whatever the heck you call it.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys for joining me tonight on this last night for regular season. But let's just get into this and let's go look at our power rankings for the Piltover division. All right, and as we wait for these to load up, seeing a whole lot of blank here on my end. So let me look at this personally. All right, there we go. So for most of our power rankings, we're in a general concisus of who the top two is, except for JJ putting his own team up here at number 2. So JJ, why putting you guys so high compared to everyone else putting IG in that number 2 spot?
So basically, what I've been thinking when I was looking through this was, IG beat us, Hydro Lotus beat IG, and then we beat Hydro Lotus. So really, it's kind of a three-way tie between the teams, all kind of beating each other out. So I find it odd that everyone ranks IG so high. The other thing is we also had 2 subs in our jungle and support, which is arguably the most important roles in the game. I mean, you could call it coping, but we are missing 2 of the most important roles against them in that series. And if Lotus beat them, I think we can beat them.
You know, that is valid. I mean, if you just go off like pure head-to-head of everything, you can go in that. But I generally put IG at the second spot because a lot of their wins have been very dominant over most of the other teams, and even then in their losses it seems a lot closer than some other teams. But it's no disrespect for you and you guys, I got you guys up here at third. I kind of was hating on you guys early in the year, but I gotta give respect where respect is due. You guys have been surprising me a lot, especially with a lot of the roster changes you guys have had towards the end of the season. But I'm curious here, I'm looking at Tortuga here having Hydro Pump, Great White in that 5th spot. Tortuga, why are we putting them there when they're locked for playoffs already?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know much of that side, so I'm just kind of going off of just I guess knowing the roster of Monkey Business more than Great White. I didn't know JJ was on there. I don't completely know that side of the division completely.
That is a fair reason to do that. You know, it makes sense if you're just paying attention to who your competition right now is instead of looking forward to playoffs, and you're just gonna power rank teams, I guess, based on logos. Pink is better than white, I guess, but I'm curious why, Billy, you got Monkeys in that 3rd spot. Why do you got them over both Hydro teams?
We scrimmed them a couple times on Atomic, and they seem to be a pretty good team. And my boy Giraffe's on that team, so pretty biased. And I think he's a good player. So, and I'm not really too familiar with the Hydro White teams, to be honest. So they kind of just put them in the middle, just by record, you know. So,
yeah, that's a fair reason for putting everybody there. We all have our concisus top 5 of who is making playoffs, just based on different stuff and everything. I believe the last spot is between Monkey Business and AIE, competing for that last spot here. And even though I love AIE, I got to cast them last week. They're a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to just see their growth over the season. I do have them missing out on the spot because the name of Monkey Business, the names that they have on paper, I feel like are just more well known and more expected to be making it into the playoff spot. But we got the interesting bottom two teams. JJ, you have TFF over the Sunlaro team. I'm curious why you have you have them in that order compared to everybody else.
As I said, when I do my scouting, I look through every series that every team has played. TFF has taken games off of better teams. Sunlaro hasn't, and that's basically just the basis for that.
Yeah, I mean, we know who the bottom two teams in this league. I mean, TFF has been having, I think, a roster issue every week since the first week, except for last week where they played the same roster twice in a row. And Sunlaro last week, sadly, hopefully their players are safe, had a hurricane diff where some of their players were without power and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be, I guess, interesting the match tonight because both teams are not playing for a playoff spot and they're just going to be going all out and having fun. So I'm curious to see what these two teams do tonight playing against each other. But let's move on to our next group for the Zon Power Rankings. And looking at these power rankings, once again, a lot of it is just genuinely the same for top 5 at least, just moving some teams around. The only one who has it slightly different is Billy. You got your team making it in over TFF Banana, so I'm curious why you think you're going to be able to get that last push into playoffs tonight.
We made a lot of roster swaps throughout the year, and we ran some practice over the weekend with our new roster, with me role swapping to mid lane, bringing in a new support, and switching off top laners every other scrim. And I think going into tonight's match against Monkeys, I think we'll look pretty solid. And and we beat TFF Banana in the second week, so it's kind of why I put myself's team over TFF Banana.
Yeah, that's valid. The head-to-head, you guys have that one, so it's, I guess, the confidence you also have moving into this matchup for tonight. I can see why you would do it, but personally, I feel like you guys are just going to be that team missing out on playoffs just because it's a lot of roster changes specifically that you guys have been going through, especially with Finny Kissimmee changing roles. I think it's like every other week now, just playing something else. So I'm really curious to see how you guys are going to get that to gel together and look cohesive tonight to be able to make that push. But looking at the rest of the power rankings, I'm the only one who has ranked SG Proton this highly. I have them third, and then we got Tortuga and JJ ranking them as the last team making it in playoffs at number 5. So let's go with Tortuga. Why do you have SG Proton at number 5 here?
I have them at 5. Oh, okay. Well, I have them at 5 because it's like I just want them to make it into playoffs. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like in any means does this mean that I'm rooting against them or like I don't think they're good, but I don't want to like they're good. So I really want to see them in playoffs, and I would like to hope to face them either in semis or quarters because I definitely want to go against Yomi again in the bot lane because he's a solid ADC to play against.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows from last year that I played on this SG Proton team. I mean, I love the guys. They just have not been looking good this year, but they are locked for playoffs, luckily, and hopefully they can like clean up some of their games and be able to make that push into playoffs. But they also have the SG curse of being eliminated in the first round, so your wish might not come true, Tortuga. They might not be even making it past the first round. But some other curious stuff, interesting stuff is the last spot I believe is between Atomic Desperadoes and TFF Banana. I'm pretty sure Champagne's already locked. I'm not positive on that, so don't quote me.
Okay.
But JJ, you have TFF Banana in the 4th spot. So why do you have them higher up than like the likes of SG Proton or Atomic Desperados?
I mean, based on what I've looked at, I think they're just performing better as a team. I think SG Proton individually has better players, but I think TFF Banana has been playing together as a 5-man. And I do think that SG Proton could be a better team in the playoffs, though, if they can just figure out what they want to do with their roster, like find a cohesive way to play.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I know TFF Banana had the roster swap of switching out supports, and I wasn't a fan of the move personally. I'm still not a fan of it, so I'm curious to see if they're still better or worse. I think they're 1 for 1 with this roster change. I'm curious how they're going to look. But like you said, SG Proton, if they look good, play good, they'll be good. It's the same with like almost every team in this league. It's all about team synergy and how you're looking in the game, on the map, and playing as a team. It's definitely why we have our top two teams of like Dorado and Conduit look stronger than everybody else, just because they play such a team-centric style and have such strong solo laners that they're able to just take their leads and make that run with it and just make it hard. But it's definitely going to be interesting once playoffs come, because teams are going to adapt new strategies and stuff like that and be able to, change how they're going to play against these top cut teams. But it's definitely going to be interesting. And the last team I want to touch on in Zon is going to be Monkey Champagne. And I'm curious why we all have them ranked at 3, except for me. I have them at 4, so I'm going to go to Billy here. Why do you got Monkey Champagne in this 3 spot, making that last push with the playoff points?
I mean, they look pretty good, but I don't think they're better than, a Conduit or the pink card team. That's what I like to call them. Sorry, Tortuga, but
No, you're chilling, you're chilling.
Yeah,
but
cool card team.
but I definitely think they are better than SG Proton. We played them week 1, and to be honest, they did seem a little on the weaker side, even though our team's kind of in shambles slightly. So, I mean, that's kind of the reason why I had them above.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, every week I look at Monkey Champagne. They're like not a team that really stands out on paper so much as like they really are that team centric style where like their solo laners will do their job in lane and then just show up in team fights. They're not really like I'm gonna say not impressive in lane. They don't have like the laning stats that make them stand out on paper. They're very neutral. They're getting their job done, and it's their team play and team fight that really helps them excel. And it's actually why they were able to pick up that series against SG Proton and start to make this climb over the last 2 weeks into this playoff spot when it was looking a little bit shaky for them. So I think they're definitely a team that's on the up and definitely something that people should be worried for coming into playoffs. But like we said, cool card team. They've been pretty good lately. Even with some stuff that's been happening recently. I know everybody loves to read Gen Chat, so you guys can keep that over there. But let's move into our predictions for tonight. Get into the real meat and potatoes with this, starting with the Piltover division. All right, I love being the only one to pick AIE here. So I'm gonna just give this one over to JJ. And why is Hydro Lotus gonna get the win tonight?
I see a big difference between the top 4 teams and the bottom 4 teams in our group, and I think Lotus is one of those top 4 teams. I don't think a team that can 2-0 IG is going to lose to AIE. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, that's fair. I put AIE as winning just because they are competing for that last playoff spot. They're going to be hungry, and I think they're going to try to play a little bit more fast and loose and maybe make the game more chaotic than Hydro Lotus is used to. Hydro Lotus has been like back and forth on wins and losses. They like beat the teams below them, but lose the teams above them. So if that continues to be true, they should be AIE tonight. But I think AIE is going to go all out and try to make that last playoff spot push. And I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to do it. But I'm going to skip over the Dorado series because we all got Dorado. We know Dorado's the best team. They're probably going to go undefeated. I'm going to go to our stream series tonight, which is TFF and Sunlaro. I said just put a question mark for this one because I legitimately cannot predict who's going to win this one. But Tortuga, you picked Sunlaro to get the win over TFF. So why is that?
I'm rooting for Dory. I need him to get a win.
I mean, that's fair. That's a fair reason. The Dory K support is coming out here for Tortuga. I'm curious what role Dory's going to be playing tonight. If they got everybody back for their roster, if he'll be back in that support role, or if he's going to be cosplaying 6 Cole Sejuani jungle like he did last week. Fun little joke there. But the last series is also playoff implications. We have Hydro Great White, and then we got Monkey Business on this one. So Billy, you went with Hydro Great White. So why is that?
I think they're going to be the underdog here, but I do think it's going to be close. And I kind of just wanted to be different and really pick Hydro here. But I thought I was going to be different, but I guess not. So that's kind of why I picked them.
Yeah, I mean, It's hard to be different when I mean, Great White has been playing very well this year. This season so far, they're kind of expected to be that second seed for playoffs or third seed, depending on how the IG match goes with Dorado. And then Tortuga, you picked Monkey Business, another team fighting for that last playoff spot. So what do you think Monkey Business is going to do to be able to take this win off of Great White tonight?
Honestly, I think they're just gonna have Batman probably pop off. Uh, he's pretty. Anytime I've ever faced Batman, he's just ganked so much that it kind of just tilts me off the earth, and I'm just like, yo, what the hell? This guy is just everywhere. Where's my jungler? Question mark pinging him.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
yeah. What were you gonna add there?
oh no, I was gonna say their bot lane's also pretty great. So
Yeah,
they're
I mean, I
solid.
think that's the strong part for Monkey Business is Grim Defier. His Caitlyn is very good. Recently got buffed, so maybe he'll be able to pull that out tonight. Where JJ's gonna tell his team to ban that one away. But it's definitely gonna be interesting because, like I said, Monkey Business is gonna try to make that last playoff spot and hope some point breakers work out for them in their favor. But I'm gonna jump back up to the match we didn't talk about, which is Dorado Gaming versus IG. I know what my predictions were for the series. You all read it in the content if you read the content. But JJ, do you think IG is going to be able to take a game off Dorado and ruin that perfect season that they got going?
I mean, I personally think Dorado is just the best team in the league. Personally, I'm praying that they don't, because if they don't, we get second place if we 2-0 Monkeys. So when it comes to playoff implications, it doesn't matter whether I think they will or won't. I'm just praying they don't.
I mean, yeah, that's valid. Always trying to get that higher seed is better. But like you said, I think a genuine consensus is Dorado is like the best team in BOL Plat. That's my consensus. Just seeing names on paper, how they're performing each and every week. These guys are great, even if they're not the individually best players in their role. Their team play is just by far better than every other team in this league. With like that close second that everybody knows is that Conduit Revelation roster, which we'll get into a little bit later. But it's definitely interesting to see how Dorado has done this year without very much like talk by a lot of people of just like being this dominant force, because everybody knows it. It's just inevitable. They're kind of the Thanos of this league, and people are going to be trying to trip them up come this playoff time. So let's just move on to our next set of predictions for the Zon group. And I did misspeak before. The TFF match in Sunlarrow isn't the streamed match. The stream match is in our Zon group, which we'll be covering shortly. That was a misremember by me of streaming Sunlarrow last week, and that is just straight up my bad to everyone if I'm caused any confusion of who's being streamed tonight. But while we wait for this to switch over, I'm going to talk to JJ here a little bit. Your team has gone through a bit of roster changes over the last week or two, so I'm curious how it has felt with Weird Stepero moving into the mid lane and getting a new jungler, and how has it been feeling? How are the vibes over at Great White?
The vibes are good. I honestly think Arctic might be one of the best junglers I've ever played with. Slappy moving into the mid lane, I think Slappy he's just really skillful as a player, so I think you could put that guy in any role and he would be all right. That being said, we did have the roster change. The only reason we really had it though is because Skoog, his work schedule changed. So it wasn't even like a force thing. It was just kind of like we had to do what we had to do, and Arctic was already in the org, so we just kind of picked him up.
Yeah, I mean that's fair to have to make changes like that. We got to remember this is a game at the end of the day. We got real life commitments and real life stuff to do. All right. And yeah, it's great that you guys were able to make that work out and be able to help Skoog with his stuff and help him out with that. But I'm being told we do not have the graphic for these on predictions, so I'm gonna have to look at it manually and go over it that way. So our first match tonight is, we'll talk about Mako and Conduit Prime first, and looks like we all have Hydro Pump Mako winning this one. So I'll start with JJ because it's in org. Why is Hydro Pump Mako going to be getting the win over Conduit Prime?
I think Conduit Prime's kind of a mean team at this point. I feel like Mako still wants to win regardless of the record. They were the Risen champions the last split. They went through some roster changes. It just hasn't been the same since. But that being said, I think they still want to win, and I think this Conduit roster is just kind of like a bunch of random players that were left over, thrown on off roles, is what it feels like to me.
So I know this Conduit roster is a promotion roster. They played in BOL Gold last year with most of it, and I know they have been having a lot of roster issues. Like the guy's been playing top for them. Klug is a top laner, but he was role swapped to mid to cover for the mid laner being out, and it just seems a lot of chaos and disorganization. And that's not on like the play. It's on like everybody, I guess, like not being able to, or it's just life. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's game. You know, people have life and it's hard to make everything work every week. But I, as a Conduit fan, I do hope they do something and get a game or even a series here tonight and, you know, make it interesting for them and look forward to building on something for next season if they're going to continue on as a team in BOL. But let's move on to our next match, which is Monkey Champagne and the Atomic Desperadoes, which is our stream match. And since we have a Desperado here in the Otter Talk, let's move on to him. Billy Badass, why are you guys going to win tonight?
Well, I'll give you two reasons. One, our back is against the wall, 100%. So if we lose this, we're done. And number two, we're on stream tonight, and I'm a crowd player, so I enjoy being on stream. And I basically have a double buff tonight with my back against the wall and being on stream, so I'm ready to pop off tonight.
You know, I'm hoping we do see that, but I hate to tell you that everyone else has predicted against you guys, and they got Monkey Champagne taking this one. I definitely think this is the most important matchup in the Zon group tonight, just because it's for you guys to get playoffs, and then for Monkey Champagne to try to get a higher seed in this group. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what both teams do coming into this one and how it's going to look. I'm definitely excited. I'm hoping it's bloody. I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that out of you guys. And then let's move on. We got Conduit Esports Revelation, and then we got Misery Obsidian Vice. It looks like we all are predicting Conduit Revelation. And then we got the 80 carries for Misery. So Tortuga, you guys picking up a game against them. So let's talk about this. How you guys gonna play against them? What are we expecting to see from you guys tonight?
Oh, I'm not playing tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I remember reading something about that before. I would be real. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I just have them taking a game off because I heard Manveer and Asian saying that they might end up since their seed is already locked and there's no possibility of changing it. They said they were gonna maybe pick like the famous Yon jungle or something like that. So
I mean, I saw Nasian play Kha'Zix earlier in the season, so maybe he'll bust
Oh,
that
there
out
you
again
go.
because that did not look good. I love Nasian. I love everyone on Conduit Rev, but Nasian, keep that Kha'Zix on the bench. There's a reason nobody picks that champion unless they're one trick. And then in our last matchup, probably the second most important one is SG Proton and TFF Banana, as TFF is playing for that last playoff spot. Looking at predictions here, we all have SG Proton except for JJ. You got TFF Banana picking up the series win. So why do you have TFF Banana picking up the series win tonight?
Hey, yeah, I mean, I think it's just going back to what I was saying earlier, where I think TFF Banana looks better as a 5-man squad than SG Proton does, regardless of how they look on paper. But I think, respectfully, you could have put either one of these teams winning tonight, and I would agree with you.
Yeah, I put SG Proton just because I know Yomi and Alf will not lose the cream cheese. They've said this multiple times that if they do, they will retire from League of Legends. So I don't expect them to lose this series tonight. And just looking over the last few weeks, I think TFF Banana has looked sloppier in comparison to SG Proton, who yes played some weaker teams, but have been gaining momentum with Vezu coming in the jungle and getting that roster change fixed up and going. It just is definitely interesting to see how they're gonna play against each other tonight. And it's definitely an important series to be looking at, but overall, I think we are in a genuine consensus of looking at this, getting ready for playoffs. So I want to talk about playoffs a little bit here. That starts next week. 5 teams make it in from each group. It's definitely going to be a little bit spicy. So let's start with JJ. For the Zon side, what do you think is going to be the first team to be like between TFF Banana and Atomic Desperadoes? Who do you think is going to be missing out and why?
I think Atomic Desperados will be the ones missing out. I just feel like both teams have had roster changes and they've had a rough season, but I think that Atomic Desperados have had it much worse, and I think that that'll just play a factor in tonight's games.
Yeah, Billy, any counter argument to that?
Well, I'll say is this is our last resort, so this will be our last roster swap of the year, I would say. And yeah, we're ready to play tonight, even if we have a bunch of roster swaps. So
Yeah. Like I said, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what teams make it into playoffs at the end of the night. And, it's going to be sad seeing some of these teams go, especially ones who have been growing and ramping up over the season and just have been, delivering banger series and a lot of fun to watch. But looking over at the Piltover side, Tortuga, I'm curious what team between AIE and Monkey you think is going to be missing out on playoffs this year?
Oh, I think it's AIE, without a doubt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's fair. When I first looked at the AI roster, it was a lot of unknown names, and over the season, I've seen them grow. Like, I'm gonna talk about like when I started doing the content, so like week 3, I've seen them grow and improve as like a team with like some small slip ups. But I'm definitely happy to be seeing teams grow and kind of keep the platinum leagues alive because a lot of them have been struggling with Emerald being added. So it's always great to see players increase their skill levels and just grow as players and teams. And I'm curious to see if they're going to be coming back next season. But I think everybody kind of has a genuine agreement on our 5 playoff teams, except for Billy saying he's going to make it in over TFF Banana. Hey, Billy, I hope you guys do that. It'll definitely be some spicy stuff if that does happen with how many roster swaps you have. And I'm going to be rooting for you guys tonight, even if I have to be biased. But I think that's going to do it for us here tonight on BOL Blue Otter League, Platinum, Otter Talk. Holy crap, I can't talk here. But before we go, anything you guys want to be shouting out here?
Yo, shout out to Traxon. He was the only person in preseason to say that he believed in our roster. So shout out to that guy.
All right. Billy, anything you want to shout out before we be going?
Not really. I mean, I guess shout out to everyone that believes in Atomic somewhat. I mean, I know we've been having a lot of trouble this year, but we get some faith in our team. That'll be very much appreciated.
All right, and last but not least, Tortuga, anything you want to shout out?
Actually, yeah, shout out to Hydro Pump because I remember at the beginning of the season nobody believed in them, and they got 2 teams making it into playoffs, so it's that's huge for them.
We did have three chances though, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, 2 for 3, 66%.
Yeah, it's still
you can't
good,
beat those
yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, thanks, bro. I love you too.
All right, I want to thank you 3 for joining me here tonight. I want to thank everybody who stuck around and watched with us, and I want to thank our production for getting this running for us tonight. But stick around. We'll be back after a short break to cast Atomic Desperadoes versus Monkey Champagne as our last regular season match for the season. We'll see you on the other side.
And they say I have a grim sense of humor.
Awake to my voice and hear the call within. Embrace the fear inside. Surrender your mind to mine again.
All right, welcome back. It is the final week of the Platinum League. I'm Traxon. Joining me is Chong's and our producer Caddy. How are you both doing tonight?
Doing great. Had an auto talk before this that went awesome, and now I'm excited to watch this series because this does have playoff implications. As Atomic Desperadoes is playing for their life right now, winning in, losing out.
Yes, speaking of which, we do have Literal Monkeys Champagne on the blue side and Atomic Desperados on the red side as we kind of get into pick and ban. Looks like Literal Monkeys not wanting to deal with the shielding and the heals coming out of the Ivern and the Seraphine.
Yeah, I definitely think there's those are two interesting bands right now in the current meta. I don't think they're as strong as they used to be. I mean, Seraphine is still as strong. She provides so much utility, and so does Ivern, but they're not at the pinnacle that they used to be. But Hui and Amumu being banned out for Atomic Desperados against Monkey, it makes sense. Nightmare plays a lot of Hui mid and a lot of scaling mages, while I'm not really sure what 99 Canary plays normally, but Amumu is just so strong, guaranteed engage, double bandage toss, Curse of the Sad Mummy. Definitely a scary threat to be going against all the time.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like Team Fight Champions, the name of the game for the bans at the moment. So they're going to see the MF taken away as well as the Nautilus. Just a lot of that hard engage and follow-up they don't want to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, Nautilus always a prevalent champion. He's one of those supports that when it's going good, it's going great, but when it's going bad, you're inting your face off. And we're seeing the Lilia first pick here for Monkey Champagne. I really like that pick when specifically Nautilus and Amumu are banned out. Amumu's like her hardest counter with the double bandage toss and the ultimate. You can just CC her. She can never be running at Mach 40 at your team. But, there's still some champions that kind of counter her. Like Jarvan is the first one that comes to mind. You lock her in the ultimate. She can't do anything without flash. So I'm curious to see what the pick here for Atomic Desperados is. And they're hovering Nocturne right now.
Yeah, that could be really interesting. Yeah, so Nocturne going to be the reply. Kind of hard to run around and deal damage, and you can't see anyone at the moment. So I'm kind of interested to see if we see like that kind of Nocturne Oriana combo that we've been seeing a lot recently. Definitely potent.
Yeah, it's a strong combo when it can be pulled off, but I know the timing is a little awkward if you're trying to buffer the shockwave with the ultimate fly-in. It's definitely interesting. Curious if they'll be able to pull it out. But Leona is another one of those champions that is good into Lilia. You have the two forms of lockdown, but Taric instantly locked in. I love this Taric pick this early because their Atomic Desperados already showing dive. Taric does so well into that. And yeah, you can kind of still draft poke for Atomic Desperados, but if they're going to do that, two champions are kind of wasted on their team. So it's really good to pick a Taric early like this.
Yeah, especially when you get the Ashe in there as well, just kind of able to kite them back with the slows coming out of the ADC there.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're not playing Kog'Maw, you should be playing Ashe right now. She's like the second strongest champion. Besides Caitlyn with the recent patch release that came out, Caitlyn very strong right now. But, Ashe really up there, Lethal Temple being back. She's thriving with that and having a great time. And the constant slows out of an AD carry is just so annoying to deal with, especially in the late game with a Lilia sprinting down your team as a menace.
Yeah, we see the Ziggs locked in. Do you think it's going to be a bot lane Ziggs? Do you think it's a mid lane Ziggs? What are your thoughts on this pickup here?
I think it's really good to pick up just because it is flexible. Normally we see it more with like hook champions in the bot lane, like the Thresh or Nautilus or something like that. It can still be done with Leona. You still can poke out your opponent and just wave clear forever, which is not a bad thing to be picking into like an Ashe Taric lane, but also it's wave clear also just gives you free mid lane priority, and that really helps Nocturne out a lot when he's trying to make these plays on like Grubs and Dragon. So the flexibility of that champion is really good to pick up here, and if I had to assume, I would put it in bot lane just because I'm not positive what this mid lane champion pool it looks like for Atomic Desperados.
Yeah, I see the Oriana ban, not wanting it to pair up with the Nocturne, just in case that is a Ziggs bot lane. And speaking of Ziggs, I really like this champion in lower elo. I think you just kind of use it to go around the map, knock down all the auto turrets, and just use that to inject your team with gold and just kind of roll over the mid game. See what the next pick, though, is Vigar. So AP heavy for Atomic Desperados here.
I mean, I think that's fine to draft the double AP here. They're so flexible in between each other. But you have a Nocturne who just does so much raw AD, and you're probably most likely going to be picking an AD top laner here. I don't think
Yeah.
they're going to be picking a tank. They're going to be picking like a bruiser. So you're not indexing too much into the AP damage. And also on the side of Monkey Champagne, they haven't drafted a tank yet. As we see the Shen locked in, I spoke too soon. But like when an enemy team doesn't lock a tank, you can over-index into one thing because they're not going to be spending the gold to build an MR item or an
Yeah.
armor item, so it doesn't really matter. But you know, Shen now having to choose between the two based on lane matchup.
Yeah, and I kind of like the Vigar paired up with the Ziggs. The siege potential that you have with those two, just the zone of control as well to get to objectives, is going to be incredible.
And yeah, I mean, we see the Victor instantly locked in here. This is a very strong teamfight comp. Out of the side, Monkey Champagne, while Atomic Desperadoes is drafting more of a long-range poke into engage with the Nocturne Leona. So it's definitely harder to pull off, as you also don't have a traditional AD carry, but Ziggs makes up for that with the siege potential that he does have. And it's definitely like it's a harder comp to pull out at a platinum elo. So I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to look clean on it and perform on it today.
Yeah, and Atomic Desperados locking in the Gnar is their final pick. So we know Atomic Desperados needs to win to qualify for playoffs. Looking at this game 1 draft, Chong, who do you favor right now?
Just looking at it on paper, knowing names, I'm gonna go with the Monkey Champagne draft. I like that a lot more out of them. They're on a lot of their comfort champs, and I just think it's an easier team comp to execute, and it's a lot harder on the side of Atomic Desperado, especially with their jungler being role swapped. He might be too itchy on that trigger finger with the Nocturne ultimate and may cost his team important team fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I have to agree with you. I think Little Monkey's team fight's probably a little easier to execute. Though I do feel if Atomic Desperados gets a big lead, they're just able to zone Literal Monkeys off of any objective with the Ziggs and the Vigar. So
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong with that. It literally comes down to this early game and how both teams are going to be playing that out.
yeah. Well, it looks like we're about to throw it to a quick break as they get ready to draft. We'll be back in a few minutes once spectator delay is up with Game 1 of Little Monkey Champagne taking on Atomic Desperados. Be right back. we are on the Rift. Literal Monkeys Champagne against Atomic Desperadoes in this best of 3, where Atomic Desperadoes must win to qualify for playoffs. And already level 1 looks like there might be some expected shenanigans occurring here.
Yeah, I mean, more shenanigans happened than I expected because I was expecting Kissimmee to be playing jungle and not the AD carry role, but he role swapped once again, so definitely was not expecting that one. Curious to see how these are actually going to play out for Atomic Desperados in a life or death situation. Definitely going to be interesting, but we see just a classic. Yeah, we see a classic 5-point. It's all going to be on Pink Penguin not to die here.
Good stun.
Minions have spawned.
Honestly, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say he didn't even need to do that. He could have just walked away, and I don't think they ever would have known he was there. But we don't see any response on the side of Champagne to get a ward, even though they should have known all 5 members were on this bot side. Now Nightmare's in trouble here.
Yeah, no fear though, so we'll be able to walk that one out. But I was gonna say, Pink Penguin, more guts than I would have in that situation. I'd be running for my life right there, but just sat there and stunned them all.
Yeah, I'm curious how the Pink Penguin Tarek is gonna go today. I remember him pulling out this champ last APL season, I believe it was, in Game 5, or no, it was Titan Divinity in Game 5, and it did not work out so great, but I think it's definitely a better draft to be picking it into, and I know he does play the champion, so I'm hoping for a better game out of him on this one, especially with the power that he has on his team side and against the enemy comp.
And they're really kind of bullying them level 1 right now, but obviously, as we know, Ziggs wants to get that lost chapter, TP back on the lane, and just kind of clear the whole time.
Yeah, Steel Fan looking to get that trade in there. They didn't get the taunt, but still got a really good trade out of it in the end. You know, Nightmare and Billy Badass both looking to stack up their passives by hitting abilities on each other to get those big breakpoints sooner than later. So mid lane is just going to be a lot of health trading and, you know, using pots effectively and not burning too much mana to have it burn an early TP. And I think that's probably where we should expect a earlier gank to come in, just because of how low both mid laners should be with the constant trading. But like you said, Zig's just looking to get poked down while also using the abilities to push the lane. And Pink Penguin already down a quarter of his HP, which is expected. Tarek isn't like the strongest champion early game. He takes a little bit to scale up. It's like weird to say he's a scaling support, but he is. So, you know, he's going to take a few chunks in the early lane, but if you can effectively use your health pool and get through the early levels, you'll be fine into the later game.
Yeah, lane's kind of going as expected right now. Nothing too much going on. My kind of concern, though, is Lilia or 99 Camry really can't, like, I feel like the ganking in the mid lane is going to be difficult into Billy here. I feel like, yeah, you could counter gank, but just the setup between Nightmare and 99 Camry feels like it's just difficult into the Vigar.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult into Vigar just because there's no hard CC in the mid lane. It's like praying that Victor gets the stun early, or Lilia hits the slow into it, and you see a trade up here in the top lane. The Swirl Seed misses onto Gnar, but Steel Fan low on HP, but not really worried. Gonna try to crash this wave and look to get a reset here, but if Aspect plays it right, he could freeze it, but he's just gonna let it crash. Look to push it out on the next few waves and get a reset of his own. But I think looking in the bot lane, the more interesting thing is that, like, Barolo and Pink Penguin have just been pushing this wave constantly, and you know, Kissimmee the Ziggs has been doing a great job picking up all this farm and has actually grown a CS lead for himself, while Barlow has been dropping a lot of the CS. And this isn't something you want to be doing when you're pushing in a wave constantly. You want to have that CS lead and punishing the enemy champions when they're trying to get the CS. But Ziggs can farm from such a far way that he's never really under any threat, and is just gonna slowly get the CS lead over time.
Yeah, good war in the Tribush does spot out Nocturne as well. They were super pushed up, and I think they're still trying to force the issue, but just kind of wasting time right now when they could be farming.
Yeah, I mean, the two junglers this game, really, there's no reason for them to be early ganking. Both of them want to farm up, hit level 6. So, you know, we see ganks still happening down in bottom lane as the top laners are just beating up on each other.
Yeah. Full damage comes through. The exhaust comes out. 9 on the camera. Counter exhaust as well. The double stun comes through. The flash comes out of Shinobi, barely living. Nightmare there, but no mana, and everyone lives outside of the 1v1 top lane that occurred to actually fight out in bot lane. So Gnarl picked that one up there.
Yeah, I mean, Steel Fan just never flashed away, and Kissimmee just gonna get bullied under turret here, but Yeah, Steelfan never flashing away there. Gnar, has the level 6 advantage, didn't even need to use the ultimate. And a
Taunt
trade
under
under
turret,
tower.
though. Yeah, the flash. There's the flash. Saved it for the 1v1 up in the top side. One more auto attack gets it, so top laner's trading it out there.
Yeah, that's definite greed out of Aspect there. There was no reason for him to stay and force a turret plate just because of with a lot of the lane swaps we saw at the start of Worlds and a lot of regions playoffs, they changed the Bulwark passive where it's really hard to take plates off of top lane early. So he was never gonna get a plate there. There's no reason for you to be forcing it. Just take the win that you had. You got the wave to crash, you got the first blood. Just reset with your gold because even though Shen was up CS, he's going to still come back stronger because he's going to be full health and he's going to have all his resources to him while you're just trying your best to get a plate that you don't need to be greeting for early game.
Yeah, we see Lily taking the first dragon. And also, what are your thoughts? It looks like Simon's trying to freeze that wave right now. What are your thoughts on Ziggs looking for the freeze down bot?
Ziggs is kind of like Tristana where you can never fully freeze a wave just because his abilities hit everything in the wave. There's no actual way to freeze the wave. So you can like pseudo freeze the wave where you can thin it and look for last hits on your passive, but like he's never gonna get a true freeze. But it's actually a smart play just because he knows his support is roaming, and at any point that he wants, he can just burn all of his mana and his abilities on the wave and instantly push it out, and there's nothing Ash can do against it. And we're gonna see a Gnar into the wall by Aspect.
Gnar into the wall. Steelfan getting pretty low. Aspect and Axis will go down, and they're forced to retreat after losing the fight up on the top side. A split fight. Shinobi could be in trouble as well. Doesn't have flash to stun.
Oh
Not
my god.
connect because Pink Penguin gets deleted by the Vicar. Holy cow.
Yeah, that we like to call that here an outplay button because it takes no actual skill to do that to somebody.
Yeah. Ooh. That was juicy in the top bot lane for a second. I had a flash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Barlow having to flash there. Ziggs hit the level 6, probably hit a dead center ultimate onto the Ashe and caused that big trade to happen. But we saw the Gnar end up dying there because the whole time the rest of his team was being zoned out solely by Pink Penguin on the Taric and Nightmare's Victor, and they just couldn't do anything. But it turned into Pink Penguin dying in the end, and Shinobi oversteps.
Right back into it. Shinobi, Nocturne pops the ultimate, flies in. Maybe not quite the target they want. Lilia getting a lot of damage off, but they're blinking health bars. That's 1 for 1 right now. Support for support, and everyone kind of resets the prio over to Atomic Desperadoes.
Yeah, I think if Billy had any form of mana there, that's just a clean one fight for Atomic Desperados, but that's just the difference of early gold spend. We see the lost chapter on Nightmare, so was able to get a level up at some point and regenerate some of that mana with the passive mana regen, but Billy just not having that one for the Blasting Wand first for the more raw damage, just doesn't have the mana to continue that later fight. And Steelfan looking to fight Aspect again, and Aspect at half health now. This is
a scrappy lane. Oh, the invade though. Camera could be in trouble. Nightmare's there to follow up though, but is it going to be enough? The Shen ultimate comes through. Uh-oh. Nocturne's in a lot of trouble right now. Running the taunt doesn't quite connect, but the damage is there. 99 Camry low as well, and Nocturne's there you go. Camry does eventually pick it up, but a couple flashes burned for that though.
I don't know why they flashed at all. You could have just had Shen taunt him over the wall. There's no need for you to flash there because Shen taunts him, and then you just walk around the blue buff wall and you pick up the kills without burning flash. So we 100% overextending there, but getting 2 flashes and an ultimate out of it is actually so good for his team. And Billy Badass looking to trade onto Nightmare here.
Yeah. Under turret. Take a couple shots, but not enough to follow up.
He should have used the ultimate there. I think it actually kills.
I think so too.
If he just uses it, but not wanting to risk it, wasn't sure of the damage breakpoint, and that's like a thing we see with role swaps, like people not knowing the exact limit of their champions and how much damage they put on like these certain item spikes. So I think if that was more a person who's a mid main would be able to actually get that out there.
Trouble though. Lilia coming in does land the sleep, but it's a 1 for 1.
What a buffer.
That was wild.
Yeah, really good on Billy to just play as far out of range from Camry as long as possible, but gets hit by the swirl seed in the end, which causes the sleep to come through, and then the watch out Eep, the E, my favorite name, the W, favorite name for an ability. Gets him, wakes him up, but he got the buffer of his ultimate out before he goes down, so was able to trade 1 for 1 there, and he is up in CS. He's got 2 kills, and now he's on that Rod of Ages. He's going to be scaling nicely into the late game here.
Yeah, definitely in a good spot as a scaling champion. Pretty much the biggest scaling champion, I think, in this game right now. So really feeling good about that play so far.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, out of everyone, the 2 champion, I mean, on the side of Atomic, Vigar's going to be scaling forever. He scales infinitely, and, you know, the Victor and Lily have both scaled really well into the late game, and Tarek scales super well into the late game, so, as...
Oh my. Nocturne just face checking, almost dying. Sorry to cut you off there, but decides to go back in, gets 1 kill, 2 kills, as well as the Ziggs was quicker on the rotation. So 2 quick kills to Atomic Desperado and the second Druid going their way.
Yeah, that Ziggs ultimate was beautiful there. It set up really well by the baby cage from Billy to, you know, catch the Lilia and the Victor in a really awkward situation. Weeb, once again, it looks like he's overextending a little bit, but has his team there this time to back him up and turns into a really well play for the team. Leona with the Solar Flare, everything just working out perfectly for the team there.
Yeah, that's about as great of a face check can go, honestly. Like, don't die, get 2 kills and the dragon. So definitely good turn on for Atomic Desperadoes in that fight.
Yeah, I'm also just really curious. We see Nar building a Trinity Force up in the top lane. I can't act like I know what top laners build. I'm a support player. That's the complete other side of the map. Why would I ever go up there to help them? But I normally believe it's like a Black Loop first, as we see Nightmare going for a
That's
big
a decent
trade
amount
here
of
in the mid lane.
damage. Shinami's about to be here in a second, though. The trade comes through. Not quite. The flash comes out, but the Q from Nightmare connects, and that is a kill in the mid lane.
Yeah,
Trade one back.
Well played by Nightmare there. Billy just not respecting the amount of burst damage that a Victor actually does have. He's more known for like consecutive DPS and consistent, but really well played. And Steelfan might get a 1v1 up here because Aspect's gonna go mini.
Yeah, could be in trouble. The taunt comes through. One more auto attack. The flash follow up though, but quite the right direction. Teleport coming out from Billy though, so Steelfan a little too far forward. Billy gets another kill, 3 kills now on the Vigar.
That boomerang is actually what saved Aspect's life there, because Steelfan read the flash perfectly, but the slow from the boomerang toss is actually what didn't allow him to pick up that kill there and possibly get out with his life. It's really hard to tell with the TP and Leona both up there, but Steelfan is actually doing really well in this 1v1. I expected him to get bullied a lot,
She's
but
in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's Nocturne Ziggs.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird to see a team make 2 successful plays on opposite ends of the map at the same time. Barlow just not respecting anything out of the Atomic Desperadoes bot lane duo there, and Nightmare getting another trade.
Yeah, Nightmare trading really well onto Billy Badass here. It's like down kills, down, you know, a couple hundred gold as well, and just really showing the Victor prowess here. But it could be a little bit of trouble. Here comes the Leona. Blast Cone though. Ziggs miss everything at the moment. Pink Pam, they're trying to trade it back into Kasami right now. Shinobi goes in, Kasami flashes with the wall. Everyone goes invulnerable though. Billy Badass trying to get enough damage onto the Shen in the front line. The flash comes through. Nananak Camry looking for the Drowsy, but it's under turret. Nightmare flashes forward with the laser, picks that one up, gets a double kill in the fight, and it was going so well for Atomic Desperadoes, and all of a sudden, misplayer on the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you play against Nightmare. He is a very good mid laner. He spaces very well, and, you know, played it out to get to his team there. And also Steelfan, you know, not many people know a lot about this guy, but his Shen is very clean. I've played with it before. Played that really well, got out of vision of the Gnar. Also, if Gnar was mini, there's no chance for the ultimate to be canceled, and immediately ulted onto Nightmare to be able to turn that play for his team. And he's going to push in this mid lane and get the mid lane turret for himself here. But, you know, while that whole play happened, Aspect got top turret in the meantime. But I think that's a fine trade that you're looking for here, because Nightmare is the guy you need to be scaling into this game to be able to answer the scalers on the side of Atomic.
Yeah, and gold's pretty much evened up between these two in the mid lane as well, so we'll see what they can kind of do with that moving forward here. But Steelfan will get caught out. Gnar into Mininar, though. Steel Fan down to half health. Billy does land the CC and picks up another kill as they're looking to try to force in the bot lane, but it Ziggs. Enough wave clear, so really difficult to try to force that tower.
When did Penguin die? Did I miss
Did
that?
they try to dive him, maybe? Oh, I think they tried to dive in bot
I
lane.
guess they tried
Yeah.
to dive. But
We need to...
yeah, I mean, this is just another point of your team's trying to make a play on one side of the map, and there's just no respect on the opposite side. Steelfan walking to where he has no vision, he has no priority. You know, Nightmare was hovering towards bot side. He shouldn't have been walking there, and it causes him to die. But, you know, I guess they tried to dive bot lane, and it was just not played well, and Penguin ended up going down for it. But it now feels like momentum is swinging back into Atomic Desperadoes' favor, and it's just... they're going to keep looking for these pick plays on side lanes. They have Leona, they have a Zigzal, and they have a Nocturne. This is what that team comp wants to do.
Yeah, they have the gold lead to back that up and kind of force those fights as well. Mid lane, the last turret to fall. They're going to pop that, try to take that turret down. They'll get the crash, and then Ziggs can always follow up if they don't get it right here. But looks like he's roaming up to try to clear that out right now. And all 3 outer turrets down pretty soon here, so... the map really opens up in favor of Atomic Desperadoes as they call the TP in to try to take the second dragon.
I mean, yeah, I think that TP's fine, because you're not really worried about Shen getting the gold on a top lane turret, and you want to start dragon stacking early. It's 1-1 right now. There's nothing else on the top side. You're going to lose an outer turret. It's not, like, you don't need to defend it. Just get the dragon, get it stacking your team. You're not really wasting the TP there because your team is also running 2 additional TPs on the Vygar and the Ziggs. So I really do like this play. This is something you see out of higher teams, like with these early TPs or just using TP advantage. And like I said, we're going to see Vygar TP up to this top lane and not let Shen get anything out of it.
Yeah, they're going to have to cake and eat it too. I'm just waiting for that mid lane to go down, but Nas is getting a lot of damage at our, Frollo, but Shinobi with the flash doesn't quite connect. And they'll get Dragon, though. They'll protect the top lane turret, and they're sieging down in the process of this mid lane turret. A couple auto attacks, and it should go down.
So
It's too afraid to hit it.
yeah, I want to talk about this build we see here out of the Ashe. They're going with the Blade of the Rune King first item. I do not like this build against this specific team comp. There is no pure tank that you're needing to be shredding like this. Just go Kraken Slayer. There's no need to be going Bork. Just go for the raw damage output. Like, you're not trying to, like, lifesteal in a team fight to do it. Like, because the enemy team comp is they're going to burst you and you're going to have no outplay button and no chance to survive it. Just, you have to be able to space correctly. And there's, like, just go the Kraken Slayer build. It's so much better against this team comp.
You know, I 100% agree. Definitely feels like very defensive, no tanks, as you mentioned. So we'll see how it kind of works out for Frollo, but itemization, a little questionable so far.
Yeah, definitely. Hoping it works out for him, but like we've been just seeing him get picked out and chunked out here, and that splash onto.
I say, did Nightmare not notice that? Oh no,
he did not notice it, and I think he's gonna go down.
No,
for
yeah,
it.
there comes Nocturne, trying to trade some damage back, but no one gets rooted up. The ultimate doing a little bit to weave, but not enough really to cause a problem.
Yeah,
for the spotlight turret too.
He should have seen the bounce there, and Steelfan is going to get traded on here by Billy.
Gosh.
Yeah, Event Horizon with the Q, that's some crazy damage.
That's a tank too, but granted, no MR at the moment. So Steelfan could be in trouble. It's double AP comp, so...
Oh, they're going to try to dive Camry here.
Oh, yeah, Ultimate's not going to connect, but the flash comes through, and Shinobi should die here. Ashe Ultimate not going to connect either, and bit of a botched dive on the side of Atomic Desperadoes here.
Yeah, they had no minion wave. I don't understand what they're going for there. Definitely greedy, and oh my gosh, Name Wave TP behind Billy, but still
almost one shot.
The ultimate.
Yeah, no help though. The flash, okay. You know what? The flash was worth. Got a kill in the end. I didn't think Steelfan would die there, but well played by Billy in a 1v3 to still at least get one kill.
Steelfan, you gotta walk out of the Event Horizon there, dude. There's no need.
Did he flash up as well?
He did. There's no need for you to die there. You outplayed it, and you just stood still in the Event Horizon in the Vygar E, and you just went down there for nothing, dude. Oh, that's painful to see. And You know, I don't know mid lane builds either. Like I said, I'm a support. I just know my 3 items. I'm gonna keep it that way. I don't know if this is the build of Viger is supposed to be going. Rod of Ages into Storm Surger. I know Storm Surge is a broken item, and I know it got nerfed recently, but I still think it's insanely overpowered. I don't know if this is the way Viger should be building because he's indexing into like that late game scaling and just straight up burst, and it feels like he's trying to get the best of both worlds, and I'm not sure if that's what he should be doing.
Yeah, we'll have to check back on that. I'll do some research at some point and see what the actual itemization is for the Vigar on the mid lane. But so far, working out all right. But you know, it helps when the enemy team's kind of assisting you and getting those kills. So we'll see if they can start walking around that. But it's a sizable lead. It hasn't really grown that much, but I still kind of think we're getting to the point where they should be able to close out in a little bit here with the size lead that they have at the moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Monkey Champagne to make a play here, and like seeing that mid lane turret still up is crazy to me. That thing is gonna go down to a swift breeze.
What's
Not
the
even
HP
swift.
on it?
I think it's at like
20.
10 HP. Like,
20 HP actually, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
Steel
insane. Yeah, Steel Fan's starting to feel a world of hurt here against the Gnar.
I mean, the CS difference is getting to the point where it's like, yeah, Steel Fan was really helping with those ultimates across the map, but Steel Fan's lost so much out. Their side lane's almost getting to the point where it's unplayable.
Yeah, like you pick the Shen to help your team and not win side lane, and Gnar can do both, and that's the real issue with the matchup. The only way Shen can do anything against Gnar is if he gets on him in mini form and like looks for a big trade then. But Nightmare gonna get bursted here. Oh my god!
Gosh.
All
Yeah,
so
all right,
that
so
is
that's
the build.
dragging over. Yeah, that's the tech.
Yeah, I think
6
that is.
kills. Yeah. Oh no, it looks like maybe one in the top lane too. Steel Fan trying to dash out, does survive, but yeah, it's not looking great right now. It's, you know, pretty big gold lead, about 5k, and second or third Drake, my apologies, pretty much lined up outside of a miracle for Atomic Desperadoes.
Yeah, and this is just Monkey Champagne not playing to their team comp. They're not grouping for team fights. They're getting caught in side lanes when they shouldn't be. And it's like in 1v1s too. There's no help from the rest of Atomic Desperados, laners, junglers, anything. They're just straight up winning 1v1 side lanes in ways they shouldn't be able to. But it's just really rough for Monkeys right now because they have no pure engage. They're not a Leon ult. They're not a Nautilus ult. They're like hoping an Ash Arrow hits, a big Lilia Flash Sleep, a big Shen Taunt, something like that. It's not guaranteed. It's all situational. And if it's not hitting, they just can't go into these team fights. And that's where, like, the Vigar or the Gnar, like the Vigar Baby Cage, Leon Ultimate, or the Gnar Ultimate really shines for Atomic Desperados, where we thought they were going to draft full dive, and now they were able to index into 2 ways at once of stopping the enemy engage and be able to get their own re-engage afterwards.
Yeah, the lack of engage really kind of evident in how difficult it has been for Literal Monkeys to kind of navigate these team fights or start these team fights. Additionally, it feels like the vision coverage, at least for Dragon, was all in favor of Atomic Desperados. They're warding up for Baron as well, and I don't know if I see a world in which Literal Monkeys really start to come back from this, aside from a massive colossal throw, but I just don't know what they can do at this point.
Yeah, I think it's actually all on 99 Camry here to be the game changer. He's got to be looking for like these 5-man Lilia sleeps and stuff like that, because that's the only way his team is going to get an engage or do it. And we see Aspect flash forward.
Yeah, 99 Camry in trouble. Yep, lost the Gnar. Did show him the other way. Drowsy comes through though. They go invulnerable for half second there. For Harlow trying to kite back. So much damage. Pink Penguin up in the front line right now. It's 2 kills. I mean, that's actually not a bad fight so far. Steel Fan going forward. Zig's going to go down as well. So that's 3 kills. Meanwhile, Billy Badass up in the bot lane trying to take that turret. And that's not a bad fight for them.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
That hurt to watch. Why did you put down the stun field before doing any damage? You could have killed the support there. But yeah, that was a 4v5. And that was still way closer than Champagne wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But that's where we see like the power of Tarek come out. Like he stopped the damage from the Ziggs ult. Nocturne dives in on the back line, can do nothing to anybody just because of the invulnerability, and it just lets his team like kind of get the spacing they want back, reset a team fight, and then just look to go once they have everybody in the right position. Because Nightmare came in, was on the backside, and right, just started putting out the insane amount of damage that a Victor does. And that's what you need to be looking for as Champagne, as using this Terricle, not only to stop the engage from Atomic Desperados, but reposition your team in a fight.
Yeah, and gold lead shrinking a little bit, right? Was about 6K. Definitely shrunk a little bit after that fight, so it's there still for Little Monkey Champagne. They just need to keep kind of looking at these cracks that Atomic Desperados are showing.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they are making their way back into this, and they're looking to get in any way they can. But that really, like I said before, it comes down to 99 Camry to be able to get those plays. And, you know, they got it in the jungle there, but it's still going to be hard. It's still an uphill battle. Baron is spawning in a minute 40. You know, Ocean Soul is on the map. And I think if Atomic Desperados gets Ocean Soul, it's kind of just over.
Yeah, also, I don't think we mentioned this. Rabadon's death cap completed for Billy Badass on the Vigar. So that is a ton, 757 ability power at the moment. So I'm thinking anyone really that gets caught at this point kind of gets one shot outside of maybe Steelfan, who started to itemize towards some
I don't know.
magic resist.
Counter argument. Ash has Wit's End.
There you go.
So who knows who wins that 1v1? And that Swirl Seed was atrocious. And 99 Camry being on bot side, they're just giving up. Baron, they have no vision up there either. They weren't expecting it. It's definitely not the right call, but if you're trying to just turtle and make a way back into a game, you have to do this. But it's really hard against the Ziggs with a Baron buff.
Yeah, Ziggs Vigar just gonna walk down. You can't even walk up to your turret for fear of getting one shot here. But they look like they're trying to play for this dragon here.
See, so what I would like Atomic Desperado to do is just ignore the dragon. What's the point? It doesn't give Champagne Soul. You have Baron buff, just push your waves. But it looks like
Shinobi's in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, the ultimate is down, and Nightmare picks it up with a Q, so they'll get that kill. Go invulnerable, expecting the Nocturne ultimate, but that won't actually be used. Just was it offensive? But meanwhile, no one can challenge Billy Badass in the top lane. That's the second turret inhibitor tower that they've taken so far. Level 17, 2 levels up against Nightmare.
I think if Atomic Desperados plays this correctly, they just win here.
Yeah.
All they have to do is keep the rest of Monkey Champagne distracted, and oh my god, Steelfan is just dead.
Oh my god. I looked down for a half second to see the Ziggs bomb like chunk everyone to half health, and yeah, Billy Badass just instantly deletes the tank, by the way. The tankiest member by far, Steelfan, so wow. Yeah. This Vigar, level 18, online. Definitely online. Trading back, though, Barolo, doing what he can, but unfortunately, it might be too little too late, as this is the third and final inhibitor to fall with this Baron buff up.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you just reset. You spend all the gold you just got off taking every turret on the map except for those Nexus turrets. And Billy's just going to be way stronger than he was before. If buys a full Crypt Bloom, full.
Jeez.
And then needs this large rod. That is crazy that he did that to Steelfan with all that gold still in his pocket.
Yeah, so just try to stay as far away as possible from the Vigar here, because it's not gonna be pretty for you.
Yeah, I mean, what Monkey Champagne has to do here is clear out the waves the best they can, and then just look for an Ashel, and it has to be onto Vigar. If you hit it onto anybody else, it is just a losing fight, because if Vigar goes untouched, he will one-shot everyone on the team.
Yeah, it's hard to follow up, though, right? Like, you have to go through Leona, Ziggs Minefield, you have to go through Weeb as well with the ultimate, especially if Aspect is in Meganar. The win con just feels so desperate for Little Monkey Champagne right now.
Yeah, and I mean, Baron is still...
Oh, Nightmare's caught. Oh, the flash comes through, but it's onto the support. 99 Camry looking for an angle, trying to get in. Shen goes in the back line as well. It's going to be the first kill. Shen's down. The front line is dead. 99 Camera goes golden. They're just walking forward, forcing flashes. Billy Badass does die. Trades 1 for 1, though. It's going to be 3 off on the side, though, trying to close this game out. Honestly, again, kind of an even fight, but they're in their bases in shambles. They need like 6 more of these fights to really have a chance here, down 7k gold.
Yeah, I think Barlow could have been playing up way more in these fights, just playing as far back as he wants and not
Ultimate
really.
comes through. Weeb going forward. They are invulnerable, though. Camry flashes forward, does get 1 kill. Aspect Noxus, though, goes Meganar, gets the follow-up kill. The last Nexus turret will drop. Camry running for their life, and it will be game 1 and a do-or-die moment going over to Atomic Desperadoes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was the way anyone expected game 1 to go here, but Atomic Desperadoes really playing the comp that they drafted to perfection. It was a very hard comp to execute on, and they were able to just play out the ranges that they needed to, get the engages they needed to, and got every right pick that they were looking for. And, you know, Vigard just became an absolute monster and still did 13,000 less damage than Ziggs that game.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. I just felt like Billy Badass was just sidelining the entire game. But by the time they really grouped, they were so far ahead of everyone else. They had so much gold. Yeah, the damage meter really wasn't there for them, but they just got to one-shot everyone, so it really didn't matter at that point.
Yeah, I mean, who needs damage when the damage equals a full health bar?
Yeah. Well,
But-
go ahead.
I was gonna say, but yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how Monkey Champagne readjusts for game number 2 here, and looks to get the reverse sweep now and get this 2-1 victory that they really need to be getting to give themselves a better shot in playoffs.
Yep, Atomic Desperados get it done with the split push Vigar in game 1. We'll see if they can take game 2 for a 2-0 sweep to head to playoffs, or if we get a game 3 force by Literal Monkeys. We'll find out in a few seconds. We'll be right back.
Now let the hunt begin. Yeah. 7,000 souls scared and daunted. Such a tale of woe. Not too long ago, this village was a golden scene of hope. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Yeah, bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer. Yeah. I am the light bringer. Now listen.
All right, it is game 2. Atomic Desperados need to win this for a chance at playoffs, so they are up 1-0 over Literal Monkeys Champagne.
Yeah. Really good first game out of Atomic Desperados, playing the way their comp needed to, and so far no bans are changing. The Amumu Hui still banned on the side of Atomic Desperados, Iron Seraphine being banned away by Literal Monkey Champagne. So I'm really curious to see where the adaptations come in the draft. Obviously it has to, we're playing Fearless, but I'm curious how they like change game plans altogether with keeping the bans the same, and what they look to do to be able to regain momentum and get the series back in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at bans, it's the salty run back pretty much, but obviously the draft will have to change because it is Fearless. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Atomic Desperados picked a very specific comp, and I don't think we're going to see something like that again, but it did get them the win, so I'm kind of interested to see what they do or kind of what their pivot is in game 2. And right off the rip, it is Jarvan, Hubbard at least.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, in like the leagues I'm playing in right now is Emerald. What we like to do is like first pick like the Volibear, who's still insanely strong, or like Udyr and like Zakogma. They're all still really strong on this patch. Udyr less so than the rest, but they're all still extremely strong champions. They're just not really well balanced at the current state of league. So I'm curious about this Poppy pick. We can see it flexed between top and support. It doesn't really get played in the jungle anymore. Her clear speed got neutered like 3 years ago when they like reduced the Q damage, so we don't really see it in the jungle anymore. But it's not as strong as it used to be, but still really strong. And speaking of strong, this Caitlyn is the pick of the patch right now. I think she's at like a 55% win rate. They buffed the crap out of her. She is just insanely strong again. And, you know, AD carries love it when Caitlyn's strong, because they love doing half the enemy's health bar with one ability. I hate when Caitlyn's strong, because she does half of my health bar with one ability.
Yeah, especially with the Collector Rush now kind of leading into the IE. So I feel like it's an earlier power spike, and like your mid game isn't too bad, but they're gonna lock in the Sejuani as well. So they still kind of have that option if they want to go like Caitlyn Karma, Caitlyn Lux, Caitlyn Morgana, potentially as well. So we'll kind of see how Atomic Desperados want to answer this, but definitely an impressive bot lane so far being shown from Literal Monkeys.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can go the classic Caitlyn pairings. Like you said, you can go Morgana, Lux. You can even go with the Zyra, or you can go with Karma. You could also pair her with stuff that people don't expect a lot. Like Thresh is actually a very good pairing with her.
True.
Because he can still pull people onto her traps. And he also just provides her a lot more safety and utility than she doesn't have with these other supports that aren't like the likes of a Karma in the lane with her. But, you know, Varus picked up here for Atomic Desperados, a champion that's also really strong now that Lethal Tempo is back. He really thrives off that since they nerfed the way like his lethality build works. Jarvan picked up. Jarvan's always strong. EQ Flash is still a menace to always be threatening with. And I do like the Sejuani pick on Literal Monkey Champagne. I do think this champion is really strong still. You know, even with like support items being nerfed because of these junglers rushing support items, you can still rush Zeke's on her and still be insanely tanky and do everything that you want to. But I'm curious to see where they go with a pick for is on the Caitlyn right now with the picks that Atomic has. So I'm curious if they're going to pick like a Thresh like I was mentioning, but they're going to pick a Braum. So still give her some of that safety, but not as much as you would expect from like a Thresh. But, you know, Braum is like the number 2 guy, you know, get behind Braum.
Yeah. Yeah. So my thought is, do we think it's a lethality virus, or do we think it's going to be a on-hit virus here for Atomic Desperados?
I think with a Sejuani and Braum picked, it should be the on-hit build. It should be lethal tempo. You're going to want to shred them as fast as possible and not let them do what they want in a team fight. Also, the lethality, Varus has been nerfed a few times over the last couple patches going back, but it's still played sometimes into the right team comps. They got to be squishy enough where it's actually going to have effect. But we see like the two perennial mid laners banned out right now, Orianna, Syndra. Yes, they got nerfed. Yes, Storm Surge got nerfed. These champions are still ridiculously strong right now. And I like the bans out of them, especially you don't want to give up a J4 Orianna combo.
Yeah, that would be a rough one to have to deal with. Plus the Varus ultimate on top of it. But Aurelion Sol, 4 literal monkeys in the mid lane. All right, what do you think about this pick?
I don't like it.
Fair enough.
I know Nightmare plays it, right? I'm not gonna not be like, oh, Nightmare's very good at Aurelion Sol, but they've picked J4 Poppy Varus.
Yeah, the Vex too.
Like, and I do not like R4 ASOL in any world, because like, especially on the 3 that they were already showing for Atomic Desperadoes, this champion. Its life is going to be hell into them because he has to stand still to cast the Q, and they're just going to be able to jump on him and do whatever they want to him. And the strong solo lane pick of the Renekton, this champion is the top lane king.
Yeah, so Vex, Renekton. So the team fight is definitely there for Atomic Desperados though, right? Like Jarvan, Vex, great combo. Varus over the top, able to provide kind of CC, especially with the on-hit build as well. Just kind of shredding the Sejuani. I don't know what the answer top lane here. That's really going to help them out. And they're going to go with the Urgot. So it's going to be Urgot top lane answered into the Renekton.
Yeah, I mean, this is another Steel fan pick. This is kind of a skill matchup in a weird way, just because Urgot is very weak early, where Renekton's really weak early, but the lane starts to kind of turn over in that mid game. So if Urgot can scale up and get into that mid game point, he'll be really strong against the Renekton. But even then, the Urgot side lane pressure compared to a Renekton is minimal. Renekton is the side lane king. With the double dashes, he just heals so much once you pop the Dominus and you just go in. But then also on the other side, Vex loses inside lane or wins inside lane to Aurelion Sol. Yeah. So once again, Atomic Desperados just has the superior side lane pressure, while Monkey Champagne is going to look for that team fight power.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you now. Atomic Desperados up 1-0 in this best of 3. Looking at these two team comps and kind of looking at what game 1 was, who do you feel takes this game 2?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It is.
You know, when I was hosting Otter Talk, Billy Bada said their backs are against the wall and he plays better like that, but he also plays better in front of a crowd. So I'm gonna have to go with Atomic Desperados. I think they're gonna get the 2-0 tonight and hope that, you know, their friends over at SG Gaming, SG Proton can, you know, get that win and help them get into that playoff spot.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to play devil's advocate. We were both wrong in game 1, so I'm going to go literal monkeys. So one of us will be right at the end of this. Well, all right. We're going to see if Atomic Desperados can close it out 2-0 or if literal monkeys can force a game 3. We're going to throw it to a quick break. We will be right back.
Come to an end. There's way more to avenge. 15 million souls live in this realm without much hope. Not too long ago, this kingdom was a golden state of hope. Yeah!
All right, we're back in game 2 of Atomic Desperados taking on Literal Monkeys Champagne, and I saw an early ping bot lane, and I got super excited that it was a Braum invade, but I'm a little disappointed it is the standard 5v5.
All right, I see 3 things in this game I already do not like.
Okay.
Caitlyn took press the attack instead of fleet footwork.
I see that as well.
Varus took press the
Yeah,
attack
I see
instead
that
of
as
lethal
well.
tempo. And I do not like the Guardian on Braum this game. I would much prefer Glacial Augment in this game specifically.
Okay.
Because everyone on the Atomic Desperado side, they're all super low range. Even Varus is a relatively low range AD carry. Anyone who gets stunned up on the side of Atomic Desperados is just going to be in hell, and it's going to reduce the damage done to your team because we all know how it works, right? So I really like Glacial Augment Braum this game instead of Guardian. He's going it for the 2v2 in lane, where I still think you can still get away with going with the Glacial Augment. That's just my personal opinion as a support player, but, you know, there's pros and cons to running both.
What are your thoughts on the cleanse on the Caitlyn as well?
What is she cleansing? The Varus ult?
Maybe the
that's
Poppy
the
Sons
only-
of the Wall? The exhaust?
The only thing is Varus ult, right? Because if Renekton's on you and he stuns you, you're dead. If Poppy stuns you into a wall, 9 out of 10 times, you're dead. You can't cleanse a knockup. You can cleanse a fear, but even then, you're probably still dead before you can even move away. So I do not like a cleanse this game because you literally said, I'm going to take this one summoner spell to cancel one ultimate when just dodge forehead.
Yeah, fair. I think if you're kind of in team fights at the point where you're getting hit by Varus ultimate, you're a little too far forward potentially. So, and I also think it really kind of cripples the lane power that this 2v2 was really looking for.
Yeah, I mean, if there was more inherent like long range CC and threat, oh my god, Steelfin takes a tower shot for some reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, if there's more long range inherent CC threat, I think cleanse is fine. But in this specific game, I think cleanse is really bad. Just take barrier, and we see
it's a gank early too. Yeah, doesn't have red buff though. The sun comes through, looking for the flag and drag. The flash. Oh, the flag and drag doesn't connect. Can they have enough damage? Flash is up for Aspect and Noxus. The flash into the auto attack. First blood going over to the Jarvan. We will pick that one up. Pretty successful early gank. Did burn flash for flash. So top lane definitely a priority for these junglers.
Yeah, if we're just nitpicking on the play there, you should flash as Weeb to guarantee the knock-up on the EQ and let your Renekton save flash to be even more of a threat onto a flash and Surgat. But that's just like a little thing and no big deal, but Nightmare trading big onto Billy this game, and oh no, they're looking
in the bot lane. Yep, Kasami in trouble. The passive gets procced. One more auto attack for the stun. The trap as well. No one steps on it though. Piltover Peacemaker does connect. They're trying to trade it back. It's gonna be the 2v3 outplay. They burn all summers in the process, but they do get the kill, and Camry went a little too deep. Unfortunately, the trap doesn't connect from Barolo, and that's disaster in the bot lane for them.
Oh, that feels so bad on the side of Monkey Champagne, because that should be a guaranteed 2 kills. You burn a flash, you burn both summoners out of Braum to try to get that going early, but it just does not work out in your favor. The barrier diff, honestly, in that one, letting the Varus live for long enough and just putting out as much damage as he possibly could. Camry taking that turret, one too many turret shots, and just did not go in their way. But still a lot of pressure out of the side of, you know, Champagne bot lane, but Caitlyn backing off here because they assume J4 is going to be ganking, but that just means that Atomic Desperados can freeze this bot wave if they want to.
See it. Yeah, he's looking for it. Does get some damage down. Pink Penguin's in a little bit of trouble. Poppy does get this knockback. Poppy picks up that kill, and Barolo gets to walk away, but, I mean, definitely an aggressive play, but it is the 3rd kill for them on the game.
I don't think it was aggressive. I think it was a lack of respect out of Monkey Champagne. You knew the gank was coming, and instead of just going to your turret and just sacking a wave even more, they went into the middle bush and the back bush and then just pressed recall. Just like, respect the gank, run run all the way back to your tier 2 tower and press the recall
Mhm.
button. Just
Yeah.
do not let that happen when you know it's coming. It's the most obvious play to be made there. It was called out apparently and they were backing off, but just no respect shown there and getting punished for it.
Let's keep Dragon as well. Dragon 3 kills, up about 2k gold, 5.5 minutes into this game. It's looking pretty good for Atomic Desperadoes. Back up against the wall, like you said, and they're really kind of delivering in this series.
Yeah, I mean, really good tempo out of Weeb here, just setting the pace. You know, a classic level 3 driving gank, just level 3 into a gank, but not the classic red buff into mid lane. It was blue buff into top lane, and still worked out really well for them. And he's just still on pace with farm here with the Sejuani, which is kind of surprising to see, just because he's gone for 2 ganks while Sejuani's gone for 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, 99 Camry did force that bot lane and died for it, so I think that's where most of that tempo difference comes through.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Definitely a forced play out of bot lane there, but I still think just based on timings could have still had momentum, but it's just hard to tell just based off gameplay.
Yeah, we're seeing the Caitlyn lane kind of do what Caitlyn does best. Unfortunately, though, the goal difference really isn't there because of that kill and the assist going over to Kasami, so they're just really trying to force this lane with 99 Camry hovering down here as well. I mean, the support's not there, Poppy's up top side, so they're looking for this dive, but barrier's here. They're going to get the exhaust. The stun comes through the barrier as well. Pink Penguin taking that one up and a good reset, so very clean dive for the first kill for Literal Monkeys Champagne.
Very clean, but onto the wrong champion. You wanted that on Caitlyn
Yeah.
more than anything. And then just like another funny nitpick thing, Braum's shield doesn't reduce turret damage. It's still gonna kill you even if you shield it. I've learned that one too many times trying to shield teammates and just watch them die behind me. And it's like, oh, okay, I keep forgetting that that's how that works. But
no.
Pink Penguin, you know, played that really well, tanked as long as he could, and even then probably could have just dropped aggro onto 99 Camry and the play still would have been fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously you want the kill on Caitlyn. At the end of the day, you're up 6 CS, Varus dies in the end, Caitlyn gets a reset, and they should be even on gold now.
Yeah, and Billy Badass trading pretty effectively up, you know, decent CS right now. I mean, the flash comes through under turret, gets the kill, but it's going to be traded back. Flashes out, and then in the Camry and Pink Panther both flashing forward. I'd say that's worth it for Billy Badass, though. 1 kill and a 1-for-3 flash trade.
Yeah, really well played out of Billy there. And that's just like, I'm going to say it again. Nightmare this game went for the early blasting wand and didn't go for the lost chapter, and it's just down in the mana game. Oh no, 99.
Renekton pops ultimate, walks up, gets stunned. The Flagjack knock up an aspect of Nox's first kill for the Renekton in the top lane.
Yeah, that is not what you want to happen there. They were so patient on that play, even popping the Renekton ultimate early to guarantee that was going to happen.
Yeah. We've been in a little bit of trouble. Sylphan did catch out the jungler, but decides not to go over the wall to follow up. And we will get out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the play you could try to make again is just look for something bot lane. But now that, you know, Camry died at red buff and, you know, Poppy's going back bot lane, that play's kind of dead. So it's kind of just a weird stalemate place where they're just going to scale up and look for it. But also, the later the game goes, the better for Champagne, because Acel, once again, another champ that scales into infinity.
Camry going in. Billy Badass into trouble. The ultimate comes through. The stomp from the Sejuani as well. And Nightmare picks up the first kill in the mid lane for themselves.
Hey, we said before, it was great on Billy getting that trade for 1 flash for 3, but it, you know, comes to bite him in the Billy Badass. But, you know, really well played by Camry and Nightmare there, you know, layering everything perfectly. Gets the knock up on the Q into the Acel ultimate stun, into the Sejuani ultimate, and just really well played by them on that one. And it's really going to help Nightmare here. He should be close to getting, I believe he's going to go for a first item, Rylai's, and we do see him getting closer and closer to that item breakpoint.
Yeah, really good job from Literal Monkeys Champagne, punishing the flashless mid laner. Good job showing up there, and we'll see what they kind of can continue to do. They are down a couple hundred gold, so nothing too crazy at the moment, as we're only 10 minutes in, so They have time to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, and while we have this moment, this is the only thing that I don't like about the early Poppy pick, just because there really isn't much for Poppy to do in this lane as a support, and really into the enemy team comp, you're really only going to stop, the Sejuani dash, the Braum, and the Urgot, but even then, it doesn't really matter all that much. So it's really a hard pick to pick early without knowing what dashes you're going against, but it still can be very effective, and it's gonna be on Shinobi to make it be effective, and they're doing a really good job at it in this early game so far. They're 102, they're making plays around the map, and it's really the kind of stuff we need to be doing, because in this lane, you're just gonna be sitting here doing nothing, so you gotta make the plays around the map.
Yeah, I agree. We see a first item coming through for Caitlyn as well, so maybe some more lane pressures. A little scrap up in the top lane. Don't think it's anything to worry too much about.
Yeah, Caitlyn picking up the first item collector, like you mentioned earlier with that rush, probably going into the IE second. And like I said, we see Camry picking up the Zeke's convergence here as the
They're
first
going
item.
for, cut you off there, but they're going for Billy Badass. Under turret, though, they did burn the Sejuani also. They won't have that for the Dragon.
Yeah, and it looked like Steelfriend got a good trade onto Aspect.
Oh,
at the same
Shinobi's
time.
in trouble. Weeb's coming, but there's not a lot of damage to follow up. Weeb might look for this. Doesn't really have a priority target at the moment. Billy Badass looking for it. Over the wall, Nightmare. The Cataclysm is available. Goes under turret, though. Gets exhausted. Barolo, the first ADC to follow up. The dunk comes through. Weeb will die, though. Shinobi trying to duel it out with Pink Penguin. Gets taken down. 2 kills for the Caitlyn. Aspect of Noxus teleports in, steps on a trap, dies. Triple kill to Caitlyn. It is falling apart for Atomic Desperadoes.
Yeah, I wish I could add a lot to that, but sadly on my end, I can't see anything that's happening in the game right now. But like you said, really bad for Caitlyn to get all 3 kills there if you're Atomic Desperadoes, but really good for Monkey
Tommy's
Champagne.
in trouble too. The barrier comes through. One more auto attack. The flash comes out. Steel Fan does not get the kill. Kasami actually gets the outplay. So 1 kill to the ADC. Billy Badass getting jumped on, though, in trouble. Not enough camera in the area. Shinobi trying to front line. The flag drive knockup comes through. Not in a camera tanky, but maybe not tanky enough. And the Vex won't land anything to follow up as well. But they do seed the grubs. So it should be 3 grubs going over to Atomic Desperadoes, which gives them 6.
Yeah, that's huge when you win the side lanes in the late game. But Steel Fan, we saw him use the ultimate in the team fight and wasn't able to use a bot lane to pick up the kill on the Varus, which he would have if he had the ultimate. But, really close to 1v1 there between the AD carry and the top laner. But like you said, Caitlyn getting the triple kill there, that is not good for Atomic Desperadoes, because this Caitlyn, once again, there's no pure tank on the side of Atomic Desperadoes. She is going to hurt anybody if she gets that.
Yeah, Nightmare's looking for it. Okay, we're good. I got a little hypey there.
No, you're good. You're good. But he's still looking for it. Gets the ultimate on Billy Badass.
Space tanking Billy Badass right now is the ace. Not in the camera. The ultimate comes through the stun and will secure the kill.
Camry.
No, it was right. You could have given it to the mid laner, but Camry said, "That's my kill. My ultimate, my kill." And they're looking for Dragon.
Yeah, you said you were getting hyphy, but you had all right to be Nightmare saying, "I don't care who's in this lane with me. I'm a 1v2 it."
It's crazy.
That's kill secured in the end by 99 Camry. But that's really, so like I said, really good for Monkey Champagne. Now, Nightmare getting even larger on this Asol, and Caitlyn gonna just basically one-shot anybody she can get like an empowered auto with ultimate onto, and they're gonna die Varus here.
Yeah, Shinomi's in the area though, so it
There's
could
no
get a
wave.
little dicey. They don't have a wave though. Yeah, this is a little too crazy right now. Kasami trying to trade onto Barolo, down to half health. Caitlyn does have the ultimate, but doesn't want to use it.
I think that dive still could have happened. Monkey Champagne just stood in between the 2 turrets and held the minion wave.
Yeah.
To make the dive happen, because there was no response on the side of Atomic Desperados. It was a 2v4. That would have been amazing for them. But, decide to call it off, want to play it safe. This is this is still a very important series, and they still have
Mhm.
a chance to be winning this one. So they need to be, taking their time playing to their outs, especially if they want to, shape up and be a contender for this championship come playoff time. So I do like the play, but it was if they wanted to go for it in
Brolo,
bot
the
lane.
cleanse comes through. The cleanse is early, though. Does have to flash out. Pink Penguin gets exhausted, flashes out as well. And surprisingly, both bot laners live, actually. Okay, never mind. I spoke too soon. That was a massive amount of damage from the Q coming out of Varus. That had to be empowered, right?
Yeah, he probably had all passive stacks on it, and then the WQ execute. And oh my god, I thought Caitlyn was about to die there.
Same.
But at the same time, mid lane, Nightmare outplaying a turret dive by Weeb and Billy Badass, and he almost solo killed Weeb, and Aspect having to flash away the top lane from Steel Fan. What
There's
is
too much
happening
action.
in
We
this
gotta slow it
game?
down, guys. We can't cover everything at once. Aspect Max is going on a Steel Fan. Steel Fan in trouble. The flip comes through. Ultimate is not available. One more auto attack will do it. They're so low, but Steel Fan gets the solo kill in the top lane.
Oh,
the this was close too.
Oh
Holy
my god.
cow.
Yeah,
Alright,
this
so
is
Steel Fan
getting
walks out.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we want to be seeing, though. This is peak Platinum League of Legends right here.
Yeah, this is the banger of a
Non-stop
game.
action.
It's close as well. Both bot lanes kind of coming up big right now. There is the 200 gold shutdown and about 900 gold separating the 280 carries. So, I mean, Varus working out, surprisingly. Caitlyn had those 3 kills. They just too close to a wall. Shinobi saw it and went on for that fight.
Yeah, it was a really good look out of Shinobi and Kasumi there to be able to get that. But also, it was very well played by Pink Penguin and Barolo to, like, almost make it out of that play. It was so close to being perfect. But just the Varus execute damage with the passive stacks on, it's just, there's no way to really beat that unless you have the Braum shield, which was already down from living before. But, maybe if Caitlyn had the IE, that looks completely different, or cleanses later. But, that's hindsight's 50-50, but really well played by Atomic Desperadoes to keep themselves in this game and getting the kills onto the champion that needs them.
Yeah, looking at it right now, objectives. So, oh, hold up, just kidding. We got a fight breaking out. Shinobi in a little bit of trouble, frontlining the Barolo looking for it. Steel Fan will get it. The flash comes through with the fear. Kasami in trouble. The flash follow up. We got a fight in the bot lane as well. Kasami will get out. We got 1v1 between Billy Badass and Nightmare. Nightmare taking the better of the trade. Will pick up the kills. So we got 2-0 across the map in favor of Literal Monkeys here. Barolo, Aspectonoxus looking for it, but 90 caliber net will keep Barolo alive.
Yeah, so that was just over-aggression by Shinobi, clearing vision there. Like, the only person he had was Weeb. You just gotta be like, hey, I'm not gonna clear this ward. Back it off. That's just something that you gotta, like, look, this is a meme between me and a lot of my old teammates. They call that Chong Somo death. They call it a Chong death, where you just solo warded and you get caught for absolutely no reason. There's nothing on the map to be doing. So, Shinobi getting a Chong death there and just, definitely something that, like, you would need to grow on as a player over time. I don't do it as much anymore. I still do it. But, it's just stuff that you learn over time.
Yeah, and Billy Badass looked a really good game on in the Vigar. Really kind of struggling on this Vex at the moment, and I'm kind of worried on how this side lane goes with Nightmare is such a big lead right now.
Yeah, I mean, I said Vex should win in late game side lane, but it might not be true anymore with how strong Nightmare is. And Steel Fan getting a
speaking of losing in side lane. Yeah, that's a rough one. Oh no, the ultimate comes through the flash into the wall, but there's no follow-up damage. Braum blocks it. Shinobi with the ultimate as well, not in a camera in the area, does make sure the bot lane gets out, but still looking for those picks.
I mean, Monkeys can still play this. You just let Caitlyn recall, you slow play them with Nightmare and Camry, and you can still fight for this dragon, but
you're definitely stronger.
Like they're just giving it up. Definitely an interesting choice. They're a little late to this, but it's still doable if they play this correctly as a 2v4.
And I'm looking for it. Shinobi is there. The ultimate comes through. Stun up into the wall, though. Weeb looking to finish the dragon off. The fear comes through on the Nightmare, and looks like they're just going to walk out. Weeb could be in trouble. Does probably need a flag dog over the back. Billy Badass singled out, though. The ultimate comes through onto Kasami. Shinobi peeling for the carry, though. Weeb on the back line. Barolo going to die. Nightmare, the next target. Billy Badass gets the fear, but going over the wall, the failed flash, the follow-up, but it traded 1-for-1 on the side of the fight. Now 99 Cameras, a little bit of trouble. Kasami looking to go forward. Needs one more auto attack. Won't quite get it. Pink Penguin flashing over the wall. And it looks like, for now, those two make it out with Kasami on the hunt, looking to land. The arrow doesn't connect it on the 99 Camry. That's going to conclude that fight.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, Barlow just like way overextended there, just getting 100 to 0.
Oh, Steel Fan's in trouble. Ultimate comes through, a little more damage. No, but Steel Fan's going to get the 1v1 kill up in the top lane.
I was gonna say, you thought
Action
Steel Fan
doesn't
was in
stop.
trouble. Aspect of Noxus was in trouble. He got hit by the
You're right.
ultimate. Nah, like even with Urgot at low health, if he hits that ultimate and you're both at low health, you're gonna
Oh, yeah.
lose that fight every single time. And Steel Fan, like I said, this is another one of his picks. I kind of know him for an Urgot as an Urgot player, and he is showing us that this game he's gotten, I think, 2 solo kills now up in this top lane. And he's going to start being scary in these team fights. We saw it before when he got the ultimate and then flashed in onto Kisame and, you know, forced the flash back. He is going to be a menace come these late game team fights. Look, I played against Nergot the other day. He got a pentakill against us. That thing is scary when he's
It's
fed.
not fun. Yeah, and I kind of feel like that's kind of on Aspect and Noxus, though, not really respecting that. If you're not going to connect, Play Badass actually just dies here. The teleport being used as well, and I think Aurelion Soul just doesn't care. We'll walk away. So wasted teleport, Aspect and Noxus.
Yeah,
Kind
we're
of
talking-
struggling in this side lane right now.
You're talking about respect at Aspect of Noxus. Billy Badass needs to respect Nightmare in the solo lane. He's at this is Asol's strongest point. He built Rylai's. Like there's no way you ever run away from him now just because of how the champion works. And
Scrapping mid lane, but just committing Exhaust and Braum popping the Glacial Fissure.
yeah, I don't like Glacial Fissure there. There was really no need to. They were already backing away. Just let him back away. Don't burn the ultimate. But, you know, rather safe than sorry. So I guess it's okay in the long run. But it's like I said, it's just like small things like this that teams want to start looking to clean up to move it, while they move into playoffs. But you can't really knock it too much. She wants to keep his AD carry alive. She's getting really strong. I'm hoping the next item we see out of this Caitlyn is the Huntao. It's basically old Draven passive if people have been playing League of Legends that long, where your crit damage does bleed damage over time. So that item got buffed at the start of the split. It is still really strong, and not a lot of people build it. But on Caitlyn, that item is insanely strong.
Yeah, I see a lot of people either go that or they go the Rapid Fire. And
No.
yeah, that's just what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's what I see.
You don't need rapid fire.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
unique
Steel Fan.
build. Yeah, Steel Fan going again for the 1v1. This time, Aspect and Noxus does have the Dominus, but don't know if it's going to be enough. Looking for a little more damage. No flash, though. Oh, yeah. Ace in the hole does secure that kill. So, Caitlyn, another kill. Steel Fan helping out the ADC here.
Steel Fan flashed for that. He said, "Get over here, Scorpion style," and took that 1v1. And he's, you know, I thought Renekton was stronger in the side lane, but apparently Urgot is way better than Renekton if he gets the jump on him.
Yeah, and like looking at this, right? You're losing the mid lane 1v1. You're losing the top lane 1v1. Your bot lane is okay at the moment, but I just don't know what they're gonna do here. Like the side lane pressure from Nightmare and Steel Fan is just gonna get so oppressive.
Yeah, like I thought at least Atomic Desperadoes had the side lane advantage, but Nightmare getting fed early, Steel Fan on 2 items getting fed, they are the threat in the side lanes now. And even then, what do you do in this 3v3? Like, Caitlyn can get out of the J4 cage and has great peel with a Sejuani and Braum protecting her. It's so hard to do anything against as Atomic Desperadoes. Like, they got to start looking for plays where they're sacking stuff inside waves and looking to make an outnumbered play in mid lane or in a side lane. And that's really going to be their avenue back into this game.
Yeah, and we've seen Shinobi find good angles on Barolo, right? But Pink Penguin just there with the shield, just able to block so much damage coming out of Kasami that they really haven't found kills with those engages.
Yeah, this is like going back to when I was talking about Poppy is very hard to play in this game because they're not really stopping anything. She has no real escape, and like her engage, you have to wall slam somebody to get the stun. Otherwise, you're really ineffective unless you're bopping out like 3 to 4 people with your ultimate, which I think you should be looking for here, but they're looking to get a...
They're on the flank. Jarvan's on the flank. It will be warded. Both teams really want this. Barolo with Nightmare on the backside. Kasame does find the ultimate. The Flag and Dragon does connect on the Nightmare. Flashes into Barolo, so both carries are locked up. Kasame trying to deal damage. The shutdown. The Urgot has died. Pink Penguin trying to do what he can. Trying to protect Barolo. Not going to be enough. Nightmare will be able to get out. Does pick up a double kill. Kasame tries to... Oh, they're stolen, actually. Nightmare seals it, but does die. Kasame just face tanking 99 camera right now. Shinobi needs to stop fighting this support and save the 80 carry, but decides, nope. It's supportal combat, 2 levels down, trying to kill Pink Penguin. Not going to get it, though.
Yeah, Weeb, just the MVP of that fight, getting onto both primary targets. Despite it being warded and known, he was still able to get the Flag and Drag, flash into Cataclysm onto the 2 prime targets. And that is really what made Atomic Desperadoes win the fight, but also Nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare playing that beautifully. Low health, gets a double kill, and then flies back in to steal the dragon.
Yeah.
That was really nice out of him.
Yeah, definitely a cool play from Nightmare there. But unfortunately, though, gold is kind of growing for Atomic Desperadoes. They did lose the dragon, but they got the tier 2 tower, which means tier 1 top lane probably soon to fall. And it was 6 grubs really kind of putting in work for them.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you still have 6 grubs. You still have insane pushing power. And somehow they're up gold right now.
Oh, Billy Badass. In trouble. Ace Mahoa comes through a ton of damage. Nightmare trying to finish it off. We'll pick that one up. They lose turret in the bot lane, trying to trade it for turret in the top lane, though.
Yeah, I mean, and I think at this point, you can just start threatening the Baron as Monkey Champagne. Acel does so much damage to this objective. He just gets to sit there with the Q channeling on it the whole time. But they're looking for Weeb, I think. Nope, just flying to mid lane, collecting some CS here, getting some Stardust.
Yeah, I mean, you have a teleport. Urgot is teleporting forward right now, caught in the Cataclysm. The ultimate comes down, gets knocked out. Weeb does have the ultimate on him. Barolo will take down Shinobi. They're looking for Weeb, but it's going to be 1 kill. Nightmare flying back on the map. Don't know if they're going to be able to catch Weeb here, but they do get a kill with TP blown from Sylphan here.
Yeah, Shinobi kind of just saved Nightmare's life. Weeb got on him with the Cataclysm, and then immediately Shinobi with the Poppy ultimate knocks Nightmare back, and I think that is what lost them the fight, unironically.
Yeah.
Because Weeb used everything he could to deal damage to Nightmare and get him low.
Over the wall. Oh my gosh. Going in, Vex with the fear does pick up that kill. Weeb looking for more. In the backside to flip onto the Renekton. Just getting stunned up though. Flies in. Barolo in trouble. The combo of Weeb and Billy Badass able to find that kill, but Steel Fan on the Urgot. So fed right now. Looking to try to secure these kills, but the spacing, Kasame running for like the Flag of Drag comes through. Shinobi, the peeling is there. And Atomic Desperadoes navigate that fight to perfection almost.
Yeah, Monkey Champagne overstayed on the map there. Nightmare was still half health, just looking to start a fight for some reason when I guess he doesn't have TP. You don't want to recall and lose the Baron pressure, but just you're Aurelion Soul. You have the way to fly back in, and that was just a massive momentum swing here and a massive misplay out of Monkey Champagne. Atomic Desperado is going to be in the driver's seat. You have 6 grubs. You have the Baron buff. This is an actual threat here where they could actually look to win this game now.
Yeah, and it was so close for so long, but just the team fighting for Atomic Desperados has just been better in this game so far. You saw the solo laners so far ahead in the side lanes. Basically, no one could contest them, but just they come together for these 5v5s, and they're just not playing them well.
Yeah, shout out Billy Badass in that team fight. Got his ultimate onto Nightmare, and then was able to just burst him before anything happened, and then got the perfect angle to also get his ultimate onto Caitlyn and also do the same exact thing. That team fight was played out beautifully by a 2 and 10 Vex at that point. Ended up picking up that double kill there, but this Vex damage is still nothing to be scoffed at this point.
Yeah, this is a rough fight. The ultimate will go wide though, so maybe that's the saving grace. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's a kill.
Aspect of Noxus cannot be taking this 1v1 anymore. And that's also before Steelfan has his own Stairs Gauge, because he should be building that next item and just be unkillable in a team fight. Like, I would like to see Steelfan here go into a Stairs Gauge and then into the Jack shows and just be an absolute menace in these team fights. Also, if he had, I think if Steelfan had ultimate in that previous fight, he actually just kills Kissimmee and Billy Badass on the backside, but not having it, ended up having him die. But Dragon is spawning in 4 seconds, and this might be a team
Third
fight
Drake.
to determine the game.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one. Renekton not there, doesn't have teleport. The ultimate from Kasami goes wide, knocks out the Urgot. Nightmare on the flank. Are they able to get out safely? It does look like they'll walk out.
Yeah, so nothing came out of what I was hyping up. But
They're looking for it still. They're getting a little crazy with it. Nightmare's up 2 levels on the enemy mid laner. Shinobi's level 10, by the way. Billy Badass goes in. It is a great combo, and the mid laner goes down. Steelfan does get 1 kill. The fear comes through as well. But Kasami dealing so much damage. Untouched, the 80 carry, just trying to deal damage right now. Billy Badass finds Bro on the back line as well. The cleanse comes through, able to get out. And Kasami, 2 members left against 2 members, goes under the turret for a triple kill. There's Boris popping off in this fight, and another fight going the way of Atomic Desperadoes.
yeah, and that was just not well played by Monkey Champagne. Caitlyn was not there the entire time, but also really well played out of Shinobi.
Yeah.
Getting the heroic justice or heroic charge, whatever, the E onto Nightmare to pop the spell shield, which let Billy Badass get the Vex ultimate onto him and burst him down and set up that whole play.
We're going to get 2 turrets here as well, or 2 inhibitors. Yeah, as well. And you kind of touched on this earlier, and I want to kind of come back to it. Billy Badass, right? Really, really rough early. I want to say it was like 1 in 5, 1 in 7, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Billy Badass has hit that 10 death power spike, and as many times as Billy Badass has died, he's playing these fights so well. Just goes in and is like a disruptor dive bomber. As we actually have another fight, Aspect of Noxus is not caught out. Ace in the hole comes through, and I will pick that kill up. But props to Billy Badass outside of this pick here onto Aspect of Noxus, and look at the damage on the Shinobi right now. They're going to try to answer in the mid lane.
Yeah, apparently Vex is the new Yasuo. You just gotta die 10 times to be impactful in the game. But no, literally, Billy Badass kind of winning these team fights for his team, finding the 80 carry and the oh no.
He's gonna find him again. Rolo's in trouble. It's a 2-man ultimate though. Comes through Nightmare. Both the carries are dead. The 3 remaining members of Literal Monkeys are retreating right now, and they are marching down the mid lane to try to secure more. I don't know why we haven't answered the top lane, but at this point it's too late. They're trying to go for the end here. 3 members up. Steelfan's the only hope that they have.
Yeah, and
Black Jack connects. Poppy's looking for an angle. Steelfan knocked back, fleeing. 1 more auto attack. We will pick that one up. 99 Camry and Pink Penguin are the only 2 members remaining. Black and Jack on a 99 Camry. The flash comes forth. Pink Penguin stunned up against the wall. Can't body Black anymore. They'll trade 1 kill, but it's going to be
that's game.
The ace. That's game. That is Atomic Desperadoes in a must-win scenario. 2-0 against Literal Monkey Champagne with hopes of playoffs, relying on the SG Proton game.
Yeah, an update on that series. SG Proton is in the driver's seat of that one, looking to take away win and help out Atomic Desperadoes here. But really well played by Atomic Desperadoes in that game. Down so much early, and their real carry, the one that got them there, was not Varus. It was Billy Badass. Let's be real here. Getting the key ultimates, but actually that game-winning team fight was the Varus ultimate onto Nightmare, which followed up with the Vex ultimate into the J4 ultimate.
That's so good.
It was beautifully played by Atomic Desperadoes, really playing to their outs there. I think we need to call Bully to check these accounts because these names aren't lining up for some reason. but all jokes aside, really well played by Atomic Desperadoes in a life or death situation. Hey, Billy Badass said it. When the lights are the brightest, they show up, and they did so tonight.
Yeah, they did. Congratulations to them. I guess we'll see pretty soon what will happen if they do make playoffs. I think SG's up 1-0 and currently winning. So biggest SG fans right now are Atomic Desperadoes.
Yeah, playoffs are definitely going to be interesting with the way teams are looking right now, and I'm curious to see how they play out and what ends up happening here.
Yeah, we're super excited. We'll be back next week, playoffs, right? So I think that's going to conclude it. Honestly, 2 great games. Game 2 went back and forth. Game 1 was fairly back and forth as well. Overall, great series to kind of end the regular season of the Platinum League.
Yeah, couldn't have said it any better. This is what Platinum League Legends is, baby. And Atomic Desperados, hopefully we'll be seeing you guys in playoffs come next week.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming out tonight. We'll see you tomorrow with more action. And of course, next week for more Platinum action. I'm Traxon. This has been Chong and Caddy. Have a great night.